Hello there, Stephanie here from My Prints Collection, the place where you will find lettering and illustration tutorials. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how I've created a neon wall lettering, a neon wall quote, by using my neon set brush for Procreate. And if you want to check out this set, I will add a link in the description below. And if you would like to have a sample, try out this set, check also the link in the description below. For this tutorial, the materials that I'm going to be using will be the iPad Pro 12.9 inches and the Apple Pencil. The software is the Procreate App. And without further ado, let's jump into this tutorial. So to start, I'm gonna set up my canvas. I'm gonna actually open my Procreate app. I already have my quote over here, so it will speed up the process. I'm using a screen size canvas for this one, and these are the colors that I'll be using. So you can use this quote, you can use this style, or you can do any quote that you want. And you can also use the add text feature from Procreate. So with this quote over here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a layer above my sketch. So for my sketch, I've used my my pencil from the set, and then I will go over with the studio pen from the set as well, and I will make sure that each letter from my quote will be on different layers, because it will be useful and helpful once we do a couple of adjustments in the future. So I'm gonna start tracing my quote, and I'm gonna speed up the video and get back to you in a second. So now that I have my lettering, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn this layer off. I'm gonna add a layer underneath all the layers that I've created, and I'm gonna select my background color, which is gonna be this one. So for this one, the color is 13B8A7, and I'm gonna start working word by word. So first of all, I want to create a 3D effect on this one and this one. Here is just, I will have a star and a little bit of details, as well as this one. And this one, I'm gonna add some details as well. So to do the 3D effect with this one, what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna locate the layer, so it's this one. First of all, I'm gonna go back to the previous color that I was using, which is black. To do so, just tap, hold, and it will go to my previous color. I'm gonna tap, hold, and drag to fill my letters. So now it's ready. And to create the lettering effect, I want this to be a yellow with a 3D effect, a shadow. I'm gonna use this green as well. So actually, I'm gonna change the background color to this one, and then I'll go back and change it again. So now that I have my word filled out, what I'm gonna do is change the color. I want this to be yellow. So with 2 fingers on the layer, I'm gonna swipe to the right, go back here, tap, hold to select this color. It's AD754 and go back to my layers, click on the layer and click fill layer. This is the way that I like to fill out my words. You can use other methods, but this is the one that I enjoy the most. So what I'm gonna do is duplicate this layer, and the one underneath, which will be used to create our 3D effect, I'm gonna change its color to this green. So I'm gonna go here, tap. Since it duplicated the settings of the previous layer, it's already locked. So I'm just gonna fill with this color. I'm gonna duplicate this layer one more time, and the one underneath I'm gonna click select and tap until I'm happy with the position of the layer. So I'm happy with this. I'm gonna merge these two layers by pinching or merge down, and with your fingers swipe to the right, and we are gonna start filling those gaps. So I'm gonna use the studio pen from this collection. I'm gonna, and letter by letter, I'm gonna adjust the word and fill out those gaps. So over here, I'm gonna speed up the process. So now that I'm happy with this result, I'm gonna do the same for the spring word, so it's gonna have the same effect. So I'm gonna repeat exactly the same process for the spring word. So I'm gonna locate and do that. So now that I'm happy with the both of my words, what I'm gonna do is to create a shadow over here. So to do so, I'm gonna start with the winter word. I'm gonna add a layer, change its mode to overlay over here, and click clipping mask. I'm gonna use black for the shadows and white for the highlights. So let's go and select black, pure black, and with the same brush, the studio pen, I'm gonna create my shadows. So the light will come from here, so I'm gonna quickly add my shadows, so it will be over here, and I'll paint it, so shadow over here, and then here, and I will repeat the process for my entire word and for this word as well. So now that I have my shadows, I'm gonna create the highlights. For that, I'm gonna start with the winter word. I'm just gonna duplicate my shadows layer and hit delete, clear actually. And then I'm gonna repeat the process, but pure white this time. And I'm gonna add some highlights where I think the light will hit. So for instance, over here, over here, so, and I'm happy with that. We will make another adjustment in a few seconds, and I'm gonna continue the process for the remaining of this word, and I will do to the spring word as well. So once I'm done with creating my shadows and my highlights, I'm gonna use this word and I'm gonna Gaussian blur, but I don't want it to go over my 3D effect. So actually what I'm gonna do is use the word winter, select and clear, repeat the process, select and clear. And right now what I'm gonna do is use this layer over here, go to Gaussian blur and blur it around 5.5%. It's up to you. So, or a little bit more. Let's go with 5.5%. And I'm gonna do the same for my shadows. And for this one, I'm gonna go a little bit higher. Let's go with 6.5%. So I'm happy with this effect. If you want to increase the effect, you can just duplicate the layer, the highlights, or if you want to increase the effect of the shadows, just duplicate the layer with the shadows. So I'm happy with this. I'm gonna repeat the process for my spring word. That's it. Now I'm going to create an outline, a neon outline. To do that, on the winter word and the spring word, on top of the winter word, I'm gonna add a layer, and I'm gonna go over here to my brush set, to the neon section, to the monoline. I'm gonna select yellow. For the neon brushes, the best colors to use, I will provide a color palette with the set, but the best colors to use are the ones that are in this top corner over here. So you double tap here and then you can change. So these are the best colors. So I'm going for a yellow one. Let's see. Let's go actually more orange. Yeah, okay, so I'm using an orange color. I'm gonna adjust the size of my color, my brush actually. Ooh, go back. So yes, I'm happy with this. I'm gonna trace with this brush and create my outline over here. And I'm gonna do that for my entire word. So I'm happy with the end result. Now I'm gonna make some adjustments to and add some details to the word no here and here, and lasts forever and skips its turn. So for the last forever, I'm gonna use this color over here. I'm gonna go to that layer and 2 fingers, swipe to the right, hit fill layer. So I'm happy with that. I'm gonna duplicate that layer and select black to create the shadow, fill layer, and I'm gonna do the same for this, the skip its turn layer, fill layer, duplicate, previous color, okay. So I can actually do this at once. I'm gonna create a shadow. You cannot probably see, but I'm gonna change the background in a second. So with the black layer selected from skip its turn and lasts forever, so these two are selected. I'm gonna tap here to the selection tool and tap to create a shadow, and then for each one I'm gonna add some Gaussian blur a little bit, so just a tiny, so let's go 2.5. Gonna decrease the opacity a little bit to 70%. Repeat the process for the other layer. 2.5 and reduce the opacity to 70%. Okay, so I'm gonna add some details to my words no. So I'm gonna change the color to this pinkish color as well. So 2 fingers, I'm gonna okay, and do the same for this one, fill layer, and underneath my word I'm gonna create a star. This is just to add some details to my keys. So I'm gonna select the studio pen, okay, and then just duplicate this one, drag it to over here and select, so I don't have to do that again. So I'm happy with that. And on top of that, I'm gonna add some details on top of my star. I'm gonna use this green color, and I'm gonna add some bubble lights. So I'm just over here. Okay, duplicate that layer. Change its place over here on top of this, so we are going to add details to this one as well. So I'm happy with this one. Okay, and I'm gonna add some details here as well. So add a layer on top, select this color, and I'm gonna use my stitches. Increase the size. duplicate that layer. So over here, I'm happy with that. And I'm gonna do the same. Gonna merge these two layers, duplicate it. I'm gonna do the same for the skip its turn over here. Happy with that. Now to create the background, I'm gonna go to the bottom. I'm actually gonna change the color to green, so I'm gonna select this color and drag. And to create the brick effect, I'm gonna add a layer, and I'm gonna use one of my texture brushes, which is, you have a couple of background textures. I'm gonna use the brick texture, and I'm gonna select the color black. And so with this, I will stamp it once. If I want to increase the effect, I will stamp it again and again and again, and you'll increase the effect. But I'm happy with just one tap. You can decrease the opacity of the layer a little bit. And the only remaining thing to add is a shadow to my winter quote. So I'm gonna add a shadow. So I'm gonna duplicate the latest layer of the word spring, change its color to black, fill layer, do the same for the word winter, so the latest layer, fill layer with black. And now I'm going to select my black winter layer and my black spring layer, both of them. Tap. Select them, tap a little bit over here. And I'm going to add some Gaussian blur. So let's go with 8%. Do the same over here. Gaussian blur. 8%, and I'm actually gonna replace these two layers of spring and winter, so I'm gonna put it like this, and I'm gonna change the opacity of the layer to around 35%. And there it is. We've created this neon wall lettering quote effect. If you want to check out this set, it's the neon set. The link will be in the description below. And you can also grab your freebie, which is a free sample from this set. The link will be in the description below as well. If you thought that this tutorial was useful, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video and share it with your friends. For free resources and freebies like Procreate Brushes, make sure to subscribe to the library. The links will be in the description. Until next time, happy drills and illustrations.